Okay, let's unpack this. What if everything you see, everything you experience, isn't just something happening to you, but is actually being shaped moment by moment by you?
That's the truly radical idea, isn't it? It's really the core of our deep dive today. We're digging into concepts from a pretty fascinating source, the Seth Material, channeled by Jane Roberts.
And the absolute cornerstone, the main thing we're looking at is this. Consciousness creates reality. Sounds simple, maybe, but the implications are just huge.
They really are. So our mission here is to take that core idea and, break it down. We're going to pull out the key concepts Seth talked about, use the specific examples and analogies from the source.
And try to figure out what this perspective could actually mean for how you live your life day to day.
Exactly. How it might shift things.
So where do we even start with something that basically turns our usual understanding upside down?
Well, you have to start with that fundamental reversal. Usually we think consciousness is like a product of the physical brain, right?
Yeah, the brain makes us conscious.
Seth says it's the other way around. Matter, the physical stuff, including your brain, is actually a manifestation of consciousness.
Whoa. Okay, so consciousness isn't in the brain. The brain is made of consciousness or emerges from it.
Precisely. Think of consciousness as the basic energy, the intelligent stuff behind everything. It's, infinite, aware, constantly flowing. And your thoughts, your feelings, your intentions, they aren't just random noise in your head.
They're more than that.
According to this source, yeah. They're the actual ways you interact with and shape this primary energy. You're directing it.
Okay, that's a massive shift. How does the material help us visualize this? I mean, thoughts shaping energy into reality sounds pretty abstract.
It uses some really helpful analogies. One is the sculpture in clay. Imagine the clay represents that fundamental consciousness energy. It's just pure potential, formless.
Okay, got it. Raw potential.
And your thoughts, your beliefs, your focused attention. Those are like the sculptor's hands, the idea in their mind, the tools they use. They give form to that formless energy.
And that form becomes what my physical reality, my experiences.
Yes, even your physical body, according to this perspective.
Huh. So if I'm constantly focusing on, say, being sick or worrying about getting sick, I'm like a sculptor using that worry to actually shape the clay of my body and experience towards sickness.
That's the idea presented. It's not about blame, but about understanding the mechanism. Consciousness energy follows focus. So focusing that same energy on health, on vitality, would sculpt a different outcome.
Makes sense within that framework. And there's another analogy too, right? Something more immediate.
Yeah, the dream analogy. Think about when you dream. Your consciousness,
Right.
just like that, creates an entire world, right?
Right.
Landscapes, people, events.
That feel totally real while you're in it.
Yeah. You walk on dream ground, you talk to dream people. Seth suggests our waking reality operates on a similar principle, consciousness creating experience just, on a much bigger, shared, and more persistent scale.
Wow. That's quite a comparison. Okay, so if our consciousness is the fundamental stuff and our thoughts are shaping our immediate reality, where does this all fit? Is there a bigger picture?
That leads us to what Seth calls all that is. It's the term for the ultimate source, the prime consciousness that everything comes from. But it's not described as some static old man in the sky kind of figure.
No, it's dynamic, right?
Right.
Always expanding and experiencing itself through everything it creates, including us.
Exactly. And the crucial point is that you, as an individual consciousness, you're not separate from this source. You're a unique, essential part of all that is. You contain its essence.
So it's not me and God or me and the universe. It's more like me as a part of the universe experiencing itself.
That's a great way to put it. The source uses the analogy of the ocean and a wave. All that is the ocean. An individual consciousness like you is a wave. The wave is distinct, right? It has its own shape, its own momentary existence,
Yeah.
but it's made entirely of the ocean. It is the ocean just expressing itself locally. The wave allows the ocean to experience itself in that specific, focused way.
That really lands the idea that our individual lives, our little wave's journey, actually matters to the whole ocean.
Very much so. And yet the source says that all that isn't finished. It's constantly learning, growing, expanding its own awareness through all these countless individual experiences, yours included.
Okay, mind officially bending a bit. So if we're waves in this ocean of consciousness creating reality, let's tackle time. Because that really messes with how we see things. We operate like time is a straight line, past, present, future, done.
And that linear view is useful. The source acknowledges that. You need it to, schedule appointments and build bridges. But Seth introduces this idea that all moments exist simultaneously.
Wait, all moments? Like my breakfast this morning, Julius Caesar crossing the Rubicon and whatever happens next Tuesday, they're all happening. That's tough to get your head around.
It really challenges our basic assumptions, doesn't it? The idea is the present moment isn't some tiny point moving forward. It's your point of focus, your point of creation within this huge, timeless expanse where all potential moments just exist.
The library analogy from the source helps here, I think.
It does. Imagine a massive library. Every book ever written, every book that could be written, they're all on the shelves right now, simultaneously.
Yeah.
Our usual linear experience is like starting at book 1, page 1, reading through, finishing, then picking up book 2. Sequential.
Right.
The eternal now, or simultaneous time, suggests all those books are just there. Your present is simply the book, or even the page you're currently focused on, the one you're actively reading or, well, creating right now.
Okay. If all moments are simultaneous, what's the really big takeaway for us? What does that mean for living?
It means your past isn't locked away, finished,
Yeah.
and your future isn't some predetermined path you're just walking towards, because it's all simultaneous.
So changing my focus now changes.
Everything. Well, it changes your point of action. By shifting your beliefs, your emotions, your focus in this present moment, you can actually change how you perceive and are affected by those simultaneous past moments. And crucially, you're actively choosing which of the simultaneous future moments you step into next.
So that bad memory from childhood, if I genuinely reinterpret it now, change how I feel about it, it doesn't just change my feeling about the past, it potentially changes its actual energetic influence on my present and future.
That's the profound implication presented, yes.
Yeah.
Your current point of creation is dynamic. It interacts with the whole field.
Okay, this flows right into that other concept, probable realities. If every moment is a creation point and we make choices, what happens to the paths not taken? The jobs I didn't accept, the trips I didn't go on.
According to the source, yeah, every significant choice, every strong impulse you consider but maybe don't act on, it creates a branch. These branches are called probable realities.
And these aren't just daydreams, they're real.
Seth describes them as actual, valid realities. Other aspects of your larger, multidimensional self are, in effect, living out those other possibilities. You focus your main consciousness here on this path.
But another version of me is experiencing the what if.
Exactly. Like the example given.
Okay.
You get offered a job in another city. In this reality you're focused on, you turn it down.
Right, stay put.
But in a probable reality, another aspect of you accepted that job, moved, and is living a totally different life based on that choice. Both are real experiences within your greater identity.
Wow. It really is like those choose your own adventure books, but every single path is actually being played out somewhere by some part of you.
Pretty much.
Ah.
And the source even suggests that sometimes we get these faint echoes, like an unconscious bleed through from those other realities. You know, that really strong what-if feeling you might get about a past decision.
Yeah, sometimes it's intense.
It might just be a little resonance from that other reality where your probable self is living it.
Okay, my head is spinning a little, but in a good way. We've got consciousness first, this vast, all that is. Time isn't linear, other realities are happening. How do we actually use this? What's the practical tool here for shaping our reality?
Beliefs. That's the absolute key, according to Seth. Your beliefs aren't just, passive ideas you hold about the world.
They're more active.
Much more. They're described as active energy structures. They act like powerful filters, literally shaping how you perceive the infinite potential of consciousness. And they direct the flow of that fundamental energy we talked about earlier.
So if my core belief is, say, people can't be trusted,
Then you'll tend to unconsciously sculpt your experiences to confirm that. You'll notice untrustworthy behavior more, interpret ambiguous actions negatively, maybe even attract situations that validate that belief. It becomes a self-fulfilling loop, often running unconsciously.
and if you believe you're, I don't know, unworthy or not capable,
You'll tend to create or gravitate towards situations that reflect that back to you. It's how the energy follows the pattern of belief.
but the flip side is also true. Positive, empowering beliefs would shape things differently.
Because they set up a different filter, a different energetic template. They guide your perception and the flow of creative energy in a different direction.
The source gives that really clear health example, which helps make it concrete.
It does. Take the common belief, oh, I always catch a cold in the winter. Holding that firmly, according to Seth, isn't just predicting. It can energetically set you up, influence your subconscious choices, maybe make you less resilient.
Whereas believing something like, my body is strong and healthy,
fosters a different inner environment, sends different energetic signals, supports choices aligned with health.
But critically, this isn't about just papering over problems or pretending bad things don't exist, right?
Not at all. That's really important. The actionable insight here is that your beliefs are your primary tool for working with reality, including its challenges. It's about becoming aware of what you truly believe deep down.
Identifying the limiting ones, the ones sculpting stuff you don't want.
Exactly. And then consciously, deliberately, working to choose and cultivate beliefs that align with the reality you do want to experience. It takes real self-examination, honesty, and consistent mental effort. It's using beliefs strategically.
Okay, so beliefs are the main tool we wield. What about that deeper feeling, that intuition, that sense of knowing things sometimes? Where does that fit in?
That's what the source refers to as the inner self, sometimes the inner ego. It's presented as a deeper, wiser, more expansive part of you. It's beyond the everyday conscious personality that's focused on navigating the physical world.
And this inner self is more directly connected to all that is, has the bigger picture.
Yes, it's seen as having that broader perspective, a direct line to the source, understanding your larger purpose, the stuff that goes beyond just this one lifetime.
And it plays a role in this reality creation business, too.
Oh, absolutely. It's constantly working behind the scenes, translating the energy patterns of your conscious beliefs, your emotions, your expectations into physical reality. And think about it, it's also the intelligence running your body, right?
You mean like my heart beating, cells dividing, stuff I don't consciously control?
Exactly. All that incredibly complex biological machinery.
Yeah.
That's orchestrated by the inner self, according to this view.
Wow. Okay, so how does this incredibly wise, busy inner self talk to you?
Well, to me, my everyday conscious self.
The source suggests it communicates through things like intuition, sudden insights that pop into your head, strong gut feelings, hunches, impulses, even significant dreams.
So that feeling of, I should call so-and-so or don't go down that street.
That could very well be guidance from the inner self, operating from its broader perspective, nudging you based on information your conscious mind doesn't have access to.
Like the example from the source.
Yeah.
That sudden, strong urge to take a totally different route home from work, and maybe later you hear there was a big accident on your usual route.
Exactly that kind of thing. An inexplicable nudge, a feeling that seems to come from a deeper level of knowing. We've covered a lot of ground here. Consciousness is the base, all that is. Time being simultaneous, probable realities, beliefs as our tools, the inner self guiding. If you put all that together, what does it say about reality itself? Is it like a finished thing?
Not at all. It paints a picture of reality as the continuous dynamic becoming. It's never static, never finished. It's in constant creation, constant flux, always evolving.
And we're not just watching the show.
Far from it. You are an active, essential participant in this ongoing creation. You're not just living in a world. Through all these mechanisms, your thoughts, beliefs, focus, expectations, you're actively creating and maintaining your specific experience of it, moment by moment.
Like that flowing river analogy again.
It's a perfect fit. A river is never the same twice, right?
Yeah.
It's constantly being renewed. Your personal reality is like that. Even when things seem stable, they're being constantly recreated, refreshed by the energy of your consciousness, and they hold the potential to shift.
Which means changing my dominant thoughts and feelings today really can start to shift the flow, the direction of my reality tomorrow.
That's the core implication. And while the source heavily emphasizes your power to create your personal experience, it also acknowledges shared reality. Things like cities, cultures, global events.
Those aren't just my creation.
Right. Those are seen as the incredibly complex result of co-creation. The interplay, the agreements, the conflicts, the combined energies of billions of individual consciousnesses, all shaping the larger picture together. It's both personal and collective.
So pulling this all together, the essential message from the Seth Material, as we've explored it from this source, seems to be one of, well, profound empowerment, definitely, but also a huge amount of responsibility.
Absolutely. It fundamentally shifts the perspective. It suggests the universe isn't just something that happens to you randomly from the outside. At the deepest level, it flows from you, shaped by your inner state, your consciousness.
And the path forward it seems to point towards is, well, moving from feeling like a victim of circumstance or just a passive observer.
To consciously stepping into your role as a creator, a conscious creator of your own experience.
And the keys to doing that are things like self-awareness, really digging into and changing those limiting beliefs we talked about, and learning to trust that inherent creative power within you.
That's the journey it outlines, yes. Cultivating those inner skills.
This has definitely been a deep dive, all right. It challenges pretty much everything we normally assume about how reality works.
It really does. It offers a completely different lens, a different framework for understanding yourself and your life.
So, as you, our listener, go about your day, here's a final thought to maybe chew on, building on everything we've touched on from the source material. If reality truly is this continuous becoming, shaped by your consciousness and your beliefs are the primary tools you use, how might you approach looking at your own most deeply held beliefs right now? What unexplored potential might be waiting if you consciously chose to shift even just one of those foundational beliefs today?
Definitely something to think about.
Indeed. That wraps up this deep dive.